I want to talk about another foreign country, specifically a gang that has taken over portions of the United States of America.
Venezuelan gangs!
Yeah, you know what it is. Okay.
I learned about this from Cenk. He said that apparently they're swarming and they're violent and they're attacking whites or something like that. And it's scary.
Yeah. I think that he said local news in Colorado has absolutely confirmed Venezuelan gangs took over apartment buildings in Aurora, including a report by legal team hired by the property owners. So why are the local authorities ceding U.S. territory to foreign gangs? Why haven't the cops gone in already? Now, as you can see, Jeff Waldorf, friend of the show, great person, is like, hey, man, this isn't true. And then he's like, no, you watch this fucking show. You watch it. So
it's clickbait. It's clickbait. I'm doing propaganda for clickbait. Xenophobic, fucking racist propaganda for clickbait.
I am rooting for the Venezuelan gangs.
Me too.
Totally in support of the Venezuelan gangs. I hope that they continue to spread. They further outside of Aurora, take over Colorado, Canada, followed by New Mexico. If Mexico's not already gone, Arizona, and just continue to spread out. And then we could just be Venezuela Part 2.
Yeah, if they offer us free healthcare, I pledge fealty. I have no choice.
And some of that sweet cheap gas, I'll take that. I know, for the record, the Cenk tweet you just showed, Anna Kasparian put up a very similar tweet today, and the reason I know about it is because Tim Pool retweeted it. There you go, cycle of life. I got the whole circle. There you go.
Wow.
Hell yeah.
Wow. So I just want to, so if I could do like a trailer for Fox News, from the people who brought you Muslim no-go zones, brings you a new terror threat. So, real quick, this was shared, by the way.
Venezuelan gangs.
Venezuelan. I don't have a good movie voice because my voice is too gay, but you know what I'm going for. But anyways, this was shared by Decoding Fox News, so I just want to give them credit for putting together the compilation. So they're going to play what Fox News is saying and what Cenk Uygur is saying, and then they're going to juxtapose it with the local news report where they shatter this dumbass hoax. And I feel like this didn't really need to be debunked because it's one of those things that's really stupid and obviously hysterical, but nonetheless, let's watch.
Kamala's open borders insanity is wreaking more havoc. Officials in Aurora, Colorado are setting up a task force after terrifying video emerged of a vicious apartment invasion, allegedly by a dangerous migrant gang.
Developing this morning, we're hearing...
Okay, so that's the story. Fox News has been fear-mongering about that for days now. This is the actual story where they talk to the people that live at the apartment complex, and what they say is genuinely amazing.
The people living inside of one of those chaotic apartments in Aurora where the alleged gang activity is taking place. Neighbors telling us gangs are not the problem. They say poor management is the problem.
Yeah, so this all comes after we've showed you this concerning video, that video that you just saw of what allegedly could be gangs going door to door there. Fox 31's Courtney Fromm, she's on it live in Aurora this morning. Now we're even hearing from the mayor who, is saying this is because of slumlords, not the gang. So we're kind of hearing both sides of this.
Yeah, good morning to you both. And the neighbors who actually live in the Edge at Lowry Apartments, they actually had a rally yesterday to talk about all of this and say, hey, this is not what's going on. It's actually, this building is kind of a mess and the management company is not taking care of it. And they're asking specifically to talk to the mayor, Mayor Mike Kaufman, I should say, here in Aurora. And it sounds like the mayor is on board to chit chat about what's going on. Now, Mayor Mike Kaufman says there have been conversations of an emergency order to take over the complex, but he says that's a last resort. Now, those who live there, they tell us they have had no issues with gang activity, but say the real crime is the horrible living conditions they've been dealing with, like the mountains of trash, bed bugs, and even mice. And they say all of this happening without any help from the property management company. Now, the management company, CB's Management, also oversaw the Nome Street complex that was shut down last month. Now, the city shut down Nome Street because of code violations, but the management company says that they couldn't go in there and actually deal with the code violations because it was overrun by a Venezuelan gang. So that's all, everybody kind of pointing the finger at each other. But that location, like I said, allegedly also had gang activity. Now, the mayor, though, he says all of these allegations are a potential crutch for the company to be using.
What? So, wait, hang on a second. This is crazy. The property management company, the landlords are lying?
What? No, landlords provide housing. They're amazing people.
What? But I thought that this was confirmed by reporting because Jenks said that the property management company had the smoking gun evidence.
Even so profoundly racist and weird.
Let's say the PR company, the landlords, the property managers hired, by the way, is like a conservative PR firm out of Florida. Like they're a right wing. Like this was set up. This was purposely put together as like a perfect like kill two birds with one stone type deal. Help our client spread right wing conspiracies. Boom, bada bing, knock it out of the park.
Even if it was, let's say it was true for a second. Like, let's just they're taking over. This is not a national story. Like, why would any national news coverage take this on unless the whole point is to fearmonger about crime? Like, this is not a national issue at all.
And a specific kind of crime, immigrant crime, the scariest of crimes, the Venezuelan crime. They're coming. You know?
They might not even speak English while they're doing crime. And
right?
You know, we can't have that.
They might be speaking all those different dialects, you know, weird olays and sounds. Fucking hell, you know, like
very
goddamn.
Scary.
They got weird smells. There's spices involved. Yeah, I know. It's all
some I assume are good people, but of course.
So Trump actually, speaking of why is it a national story? Trump did that live speech today at the whatever it is, like the Economist Club in New York City. He spent 10 minutes on it.
Oh, that makes sense. Okay.
He didn't just see the apartment. He was like, did you hear about this? Aurora, Colorado. It's a town in Colorado, which is a state. And he's like, that's right. The gangs, they've taken over whole sections of the town, entire areas, completely controlled by Venezuela. And there's like 12 people in an apartment building going, there's like 2 guys up here in their dicks.
And like they got a fucking shadow government, and they've taken over. They have power. They formed a government, all based on this video. Like, holy shit!
They hoisted up the fucking the sickle and the hammer on the town flag. Like,
this is Chaz 2.0. Chaz 2.0, but scarier.
Oh my god!
Yes, with free healthcare. So infinitely worse. Yeah, but apparently, like Donald Trump, literally, National Cabinet was like, they took over whole sections of the town. Like, what? Like, there was one story about one apartment building, and he literally has people thinking there's an entire gang of Venezuelans who've taken over like the 97th largest city in America. Just, you know, just chilling. Just no biggity. Like, this happened. This is going to be the longest 2 months.
Do we have the TYT video out of curiosity? I'm just curious, like, why
his response. Yeah, I would be curious to see that.
I can check. I don't know if Jenks said that it was going to be on their evening program. I'm not sure if they cut the clip for it, but I'll check real quick.
It just seems like a weird story to cover. Like, why even decide to cover this?
Well, we know why.
You know
why. Because Jenks' number one concern is property values. If not his, everybody else's. It's his number one priority. Ever since Anna moved to the cul-de-sac, they've just been all about property values.
Like, okay. You know what? They have the video clip. The title is actually a little bit different. It says, let me just show you. Okay. The title is Venezuelan Gangs Take Over an Apartment Complex. Or did they? So maybe it's not as bad. Do we want to watch some of this,
or did they?
Wait, did they the original title though?
I'm not sure. It was uploaded 19 minutes ago, so I can't say. Yeah, I can't say for sure. Let's see. We'll get past the video. We can.
Normally, that means they didn't. If you're going to put that in the title, but
right.
This particular apartment complex, according to some of the residents and former residents, has been riddled with all sorts of gang violence over the last year. But this incident has sparked a big debate and I believe some gaslighting about whether or not there is a problem with Venezuelan migrant gangs basically taking over apartment buildings or causing violent crimes at these apartment buildings. And the local government can't seem to keep its facts straight or its story straight. So look, at first, the mayor of Aurora, Colorado, admitted that there actually is a problem with Venezuelan gangs. Let's watch.
These gangs apparently are attracted to where there's a concentration of Venezuelan migrants. And so They've in fact have kind of pushed out the property management through intimidation and then collected the rents. Arrests have been made, but these operations are still ongoing.
After that, it appeared that the state and local leaders kind of went into panic mode because they started to claim that there's no problem at all. What do you mean? This is a figment of your imagination. In fact, the governor, Jared Polis, claims that the allegations are a figment of your imagination. And Aurora's interim police chief said that the gangs had not taken over one of the complexes. Now, depending on what you're hearing different things. And whether or not this is a widespread problem in Aurora, Colorado remains to be seen. Let's be clear about that. But the issue of this Venezuelan gang carrying out violent acts and crimes in the area, there seems to be a lot of evidence of that, while the Democratic lawmakers and leaders in the state and local level want to pretend like it's not happening at all.
Okay, so this is moving the goalpost, because the claim was that they took over this apartment complex. They're establishing basically a fucking center of power. They have hegemony over this area. And now it's like, well, now there's gang activity. Yeah, there's gang activity in every fucking city. Is this really a story?
Yeah. Oh, absolutely.
That's also, the story is that there's gang activity and violence.
This was parasitic slumlords. Like the people who live there, they've interviewed them. They've talked to them.
They did change the title of this video, by the way, in the 20 minutes since it's been up.
Did they?
If you go to Google and you just Google TYT Venezuelan, the first link that comes up is a YouTube video posted 20 minutes ago. And the title is "What is Going On with Venezuelan Gangs in Aurora?"
Oh, but is that the same? Is that the same video or is it a different video for different?
No, it's the same video. If you click it, it goes to the same link, the one we were just watching.
Okay.
Who is the politician who backed up her claim that she wanted, that it was the mayor of Aurora, right?
Yeah, I think so.
In that video,
the one on Fox News that said that did he say that they took over the apartment?
No, but
I don't think he was saying that. He was just saying that there's gang activity, right?
Can you just rewind to that part so I could see who the guy is, just so I can make sure it's the same guy that I'm looking up here?
It was under the graphic. I think it was the mayor.
Okay, yeah, that's the mayor, Mike Kaufman, who's a Republican who was formerly in the U.S. House of Representatives, who was around during the Obama years, who was a birther. This guy's not exactly.
So he's somebody we should trust, is what you're saying,
right? Yeah. Okay.
Yes. Okay.
Yes.
This is shocking. I'm shocked.
I just don't get why these are even like national stories. Like, I guess it's interesting to people. Like, I guess it's not to me, but some people find this interesting.
Yeah. Can you imagine if like The Wire was real life and it's like, oh, child drug dealers take over entire block, declaring independence? Something like it just. I mean, yeah, there's crime that it's gonna happen. Shit happens.
He visited.
I don't know what to say about it.
He visited a detention center in 2018 when Trump was splitting up families, and he visited the detention center for the children, and he said that he found the conditions there to be pretty good.
Oh, okay.
This is yeah,
they're not so bad.
Okay. Well, hey, you know what? Agree to disagree with TYT here.
So what's next on your list?
And by the way, this went viral This went viral online over the weekend. You might have seen Hell's Angels trending online, and that was because conservatives were falling for a disinformation campaign built on this disinformation campaign. So the Venezuelan gangs taking over Aurora was a thing that we just discussed, that we know is over embellished, to say the least. And there was an additional fake news story on top of it that the Hells Angels were getting together to go down to Aurora and free the city to free the town of the Venezuelan gangs. And the right was creating TikTok videos. They were putting up clips out. They were like, oh, you should have seen some of these. It was like, So, breaking news: the Hell's Angels are going down. Oh, you don't want to mess with these guys, Venezuelan gangs. You better watch out.
This is like, so boomer coded. I can't help it.
Yeah.
This is so close.
White biker gangs are on their way.
Yeah, this reminds me so much. I already mentioned it, but this reminds me so much of like the circa 2011-ish story. I think where Fox News was talking about Muslim no-go zones in the UK, where they declared like Sharia law and they were semi-autonomous and whatnot. And I remember even David Cameron, the conservative prime minister at the time, was like, "Hearing that made me spit out my porridge." Like it's just like he was like. He thought it was fucking stupid. Like what? It's so hyperbolic that you have to question it just like on its face because it sounds so ridiculous.
You do, but the reason they do it and what I really hate about this is that like it always has to set you up in this dynamic. What are you on the other side of this? Are you for the gangs? Are you for this violent criminal? Are you for this violent thing? And like no one's on the other side of that. It's like, okay, but can we look at the actual statistics? Is crime down overall? Is violent crime down overall? Is there an actual surge? Or are you always choosing specific stories? Like the guy who like randomly shit on the street and like you want that in your city, or like the wave of crime that's coming, the gangs, the violent gangs. No one's saying there isn't. No one's saying that there isn't gang violence or there's people who defecate on the street or all that kind of shit. But is this like a problem society-wide? Like across America, there's roving gangs and all that kind of stuff.
But they won't tell you.
And for the record,
they won't tell you that immigrants do less crime, both documented and undocumented, do less crime than citizens and permanent residents.
Absolutely.
Or just citizens, excuse me. But they'll take one example.
They got a lot more to lose.
Right. They'll take one example, as Lance was saying, and they'll blow it up and make it seem as if that's representative of all of them. It's demonization. It's the oldest propaganda trick in the book.